Welcome to the Opinionated Prepper. I'm Steve. I've got just one question for you. ¿Dónde están mis pantalones? Spend much time in a Mexican border town, you'll use that phrase more than what you really think you're going to. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing alright, but I'm a little bit gloomy. It's just gloomy outside and I'm a gloomy Gus. Kind of in a good mood, but I can feel that little hint of frustration and saltiness just below the layer. So if I get on a rant, forgive me. If I get salty, snap. If I get offensive, get over it. You don't know me. This is a channel, man. Come on, get on with your day. Today I want to talk about part 2 of the planning a community. I'm going to talk about infrastructure, city planning, civil engineer, more like leadership, so let's just say leader. And for the sake of this video, so I don't have to keep being genderless pronouns or whatever the term of the day is, we're going to refer to the leader as he. You know why? Because I'm a he. And that's what runs through my mind. So again, get over it. If you get offended, change it. But do me a favor, don't change it. Like, share, and subscribe to it. Tell your friends, I guess. Even tell your enemies if you think I'm a jerk, ruin their day. But we'll move on. When it comes to any type of mag community, tribe, if you will, any type of an unplugging where you just want to have a small group that knows other small groups and they're not part of a global family, you need a good leader. And what I think of when I think of leadership is a patriarch, a father, grandfather, somebody like me, if you will. Doesn't have to be me. They don't have to be as much of a jerk. There's a whole lot better leaders out there than I am. But somebody that's in a position to know what it's like to have loved ones in their hands, needing to provide for them, to take care of them, to put them above everything else. Because a community, a mag, a tribe, a village, whatever you want to call it, feel free. They're basically a family. You have to look at them and think of them as a family. And if there's anybody in there that you don't like, but they're kind of essential, think of them as the weird uncle that only comes around on the holidays and nobody really wants to be around. It's one big happy family. But a patriarch, a father, they'll put the needs before everybody else. You have certain types of patriarchs that are kind of like me, that are so used to being so involved with their offspring, with their family that relies on them, that sometimes they don't know when to keep out of people's business. The micromanager, I guess you can say, that's not really a good thing. They're going to, one, create dissension and arguments, disagreements, little scuffles and quarrels. But two, they're going to burn out really quick. And if they've got their nose in so many other pieces of business, essential things are going to slip past the radar and they're going to drop the ball. It'll happen. And that's one thing that you've really got to avoid. You need somebody that's going to be an alpha male, and I don't mean the alpha male that's in popular pop culture definitions. A lot of those people that say they're alpha male, they're not alpha male. They're bro dudes. Most of the time, manliness isn't really looked on as manliness anymore, and the uber douches are considered the alpha males. They're posers. They're beta males that have low self-esteem, so they have to push their pride and their opinion on everybody. Maybe threaten you with a beating if you don't go their way, but most of the time, just like a balloon, you pop them hard enough they go away. But that's for a different message. Today we're talking about leadership. A leader is going to have to look at all the resources that they have, how they can be distributed, what other resources they may need. They have to look at the community and look at the people and say, okay, we need somebody to do this, so we need to be on the lookout. You need to go back to school to do this because you're a very quick learner and you understand very quickly. You have the essential skills to do this and this. You have training in this. So we need to have you primarily focus on this. You have this, you have this, you have this. We as a community have all of this. What do we need for ourselves? What can we use for trade and barter? They have to look at treasurers, and they need to appoint someone that can be trustworthy with that, because having a treasurer is going to be essential. If you ration, if you run out of one thing and have an abundance of another thing, they need to be able to be on track and know about the stuff, and they need to know what you're going to run out of before you run out of it, and what you have in your coffers that you may be able to use to get what you need. But you need a leader to be able to suss that out and to be able to appoint somebody in a position that's that dire, someone that you can have complete and utter faith in. You need to have somebody that, if they don't know infrastructure, that they know someone that knows infrastructure. A leader doesn't have to know absolutely everything, but he has to be a good judge of character, and he has to appoint a cabinet, secretaries, co-leaders, captains, if you will. He needs to be able to appoint people like that they know what they're doing. And he needs to be able to say, okay, you need to do this. If you have any problems, get with me and we'll figure it out. He can't be so aloof and hands off that he just says, you do this, I don't care how you do it, but you get it done and don't bother me until it's done. He needs to be the ultimate problem solver and critical thinker. A leader is very, very important, but the people he surrounds himself with are equally as important. He needs to be a very good judge of character when it concerns the people that you let into your community and your family overall. If somebody's not going to benefit and they're just going to leech and mooch, they're going to hurt the community, they're going to hurt the resources that you have at hand, and you would much rather just not have them know about you, let alone bring them in, then deal with the trouble they cause, then boot them out, then have to worry about consequences later. And even though you'll come across jerks, even if the person is the smartest person in the world, if he's aggressive and loud and abrasive and nobody can deal with him, nobody's going to want him in the group. If he's stubborn and he won't work well with others or take orders, it doesn't matter what he knows. All it's going to do is, again, create dissension and argument and squabble. So you can't let those people in. He needs to be able to know on the fly what a type of person is, what they can bring to your community. He also needs to know people, or know someone that knows people that you can trade and barter with. You know, you're not going to be 100% self-sufficient. You're not. It doesn't matter how many people are in your tribe. You're going to need a resupply. You're going to need a pipeline. Does your leader know who to contact, or does he know someone that has a lot of connections that can be trustworthy? Because the whole point of a community, a mag, it's not just preparing for the future. It's having a group of loved ones, of close people that you can trust with your life, because you want to unplug from the nastiness of this world. You want to do things a little bit freer. You don't want to rely on big box stores and corporations to do things. You don't want to have to get on the keyboard and clickety clickety clack so you can order a mass manufactured thing from an overseas nation. You want to be able to make that thing yourself, or fix what you already have, or make do. A community wants to be a part of a local community. They want to keep things small. They want to uplift small business. They want to help their neighbors out, and in turn know that the neighbor will help you out. They want to live like it was back in the day. You'll see a lot of militias, you'll see a lot of prepper communities, you'll see a lot of homesteading communities and stuff like that. They've got barbed wire and electric fences and gates up between and it looks like a compound. And I mean, yeah, that's sure, if you want to be a compound, that's fine. I mean, I'm all about defense as well. I put a wall up around my family and my loved ones when it comes to things that may hurt from the outside. But you just have a lot of homesteads that are just good old boy, down to earth farms that go to a church that they've gone to their entire life, and they expect to see this person and this person and this person. And if that person doesn't show up for a week, and then 2 weeks, they get nervous, so they drive out to see if that person's okay. On the platform that I'm talking about, that I'm on most of the time, there's an old boy, friends with a lot of people on there, never had a crossword to say about anyone or anything like that. He's kind of been missing for about a week, and I started noticing it a few days ago, and then somebody else started noticing and asked me about it yesterday, and all of that. And then he finally popped up today, which is a good thing. We're glad about that. But we were worried, we were concerned. We've never met this man in real physical life at all. I mean, he's like 2 states over from me. I don't know much about the guy or anything like that, but he was still in our minds, and we were still concerned, and we were worried about him. That's the whole point of a community, and a small community, and loved ones, people that are going to remember you. And in order to have a community like that, you need to have a patriarch, a matriarch. I don't care, man. Don't take offense about it. It doesn't matter if it's a boy. You need a person that is going to look over that entire family like a parent or like a grandparent, and they're going to bend over backwards to do everything that they need to do. They're going to keep their eye on the ball, and they're going to know what's going on at all times. That's a good leader, and that's somebody that you need to look out for. If you have someone that it's my way or the highway, that person's got to go. If you have someone that just wants to put their feet up on their desk and just say, well, I appointed this person for that, and I appointed this person for that, but yet they want to get their fair share of what's coming, that person has to go. If you don't have a good leader that's able to discern the needs of the community and the needs of the surrounding communities, because I told you, if you start with yourself and you build a community, that spreads, and a community will join with another, and a community becomes a village, and a village a town, and a town a city, and a city a state, and a state a country. It's good, and that will start with a leader, somebody that they bring in. It may sound elitist, and it may sound everything like that, and you're just going to have to be an elitist. I'm not a tribalist per se, but when you have cross culture and multicultural, and this person has an agenda, and this person has an agenda, and this person has an agenda, but they're all self-serving, and they don't see the big picture of helping out their neighbor and loving somebody more than they love themselves, the whole thing falls apart, and you have what we have right now, and it's not sustainable. But other than that, guys, Thank you for stopping in. Hope you got something out of this. If you're the leader of a mag or a community, whatever, and it falls upon you, and I didn't touch on anything, I didn't address anything, or I got something completely wrong in your eyes, do me a favor and reach out to me. Leave comments if you want to. If you don't want to, if you want it to be more privatized and personal, you can reach me at aholequestions@gmail.com. Now, if you would, if you're one of those people that's always on Facebook or Twitter, X, the Tur, whatever you want to call it, if you're always on there, do me a favor, just the opinionated prepper, clickety clickety send. Go on there, leave me a thumbs up, follow me on there. That way you'll get posts and everything. If you want more in-depth, head on over to Rumble. It's freer speech. If you want even more in-depth with articles and a lot of commentary, and you want to be able to message me, then go on over to Locals, follow me in Locals. You're not going to find just me, you'll find major players over there. But while you're over there, just go over to my page. There's a subscription, a membership section in there, but there's a free section, and I post more on the free section than I do on the member section. So it's not going to cost you anything, and you might find something that you like a little bit better than these just bland, vanilla, broad spectrum YouTube videos, so I don't get slapped. But other than that, guys, I won't waste any more of your day. Trying to do it pretty quick today. Want it to be one of those, it'll only be a minute when I get up in it type things. So God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.